Before this video begins, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss an upload. Also, be sure to check out my affiliate links down below so you can get discounts on different car mods and products. Alrighty, let's get into the review. Hello and welcome! Today we're reviewing a 2013 Dodge Dart Limited, and this has the upgraded engine choice and is a 6-speed manual. This is one of my buddy's cars, so big thank you to him, he knows who he is, for allowing me to review and film with this vehicle. Alrighty, so this is a 2013 Dodge Dart, finished in gray with a black leather interior. This is the limited trim and does have the upgraded Multiair turbocharged engine. This is a compact or small sedan with seating for 5, competing with similar cars such as the Toyota Corolla, Honda Civic, and Ford Focus of its day. This weighs in with about a 3,200 pound curb weight, and when new cost close to $20,000 in 2013. This is powered by a 1.4 liter turbocharged 4-cylinder engine, making 160 horsepower and 184 pound-feet of torque. This is of course mated with, again, a 6-speed manual transmission. Because Fiat Chrysler automatics are not as great as their manuals, so yeah, it's very nice to have this. And of course, it's much more fun to drive. So this Dart is a front-wheel drive model, and all-wheel drive was not offered in this current generation, and I don't believe ever was within the modern Dodge Dart lineup. This achieves 25 miles per gallon city, 36 on the highway, with a 15.8 gallon fuel tank. This rides on some 17-inch alloy wheels. These are not the stock rims, they have been redone, and they have been Plastadipped black, with 225 wide tires all around. Also a random fact, this Dodge Dart surprisingly has a towing capacity of roughly 1,000 pounds. As for safety gear, you get dual front and rear side airbags, emergency braking assist, and ventilated front disc brakes. Alright, so for the exterior, this measures in at 183.9 inches long, 72 inches wide without the mirrors, 57.7 inches tall, and does have a max cargo capacity of 13.1 feet in the trunk. Also on the exterior, you do get heated side mirrors, which are nice. You do get a nice Multiair badge for signifying you have the upgraded turbocharged engine on the rear fascia. And also you get the typical rear Dodge lighting, similar to in a Dodge Charger and Dodge Durango model. As for the side profile, it looks a little bit stubby, but it's pretty good actually. It's not out of proportion in any way. It's a pretty nice, clean vehicle from Dodge. And it does have a lot of chrome deleted throughout here, so that's actually kind of early to the more modern trend of a lot of chrome delete. It tends to go in waves and cycles, and I guess right about then, it was in that phase. So I think it looks good around the window trim, whereas it does, interestingly to me, retain chrome door handles for all four. So it does give it a nice pop of contrast, and I like it. Alright, and let's have a step outside and discuss some more about its looks. Alright, so here on the exterior of the Dart, it has a little bit of like a snout to it. It has the traditional cross of the Dodge in the grille. It does come with fog lights in here. This is one of the highest trim options, so that's great. And it does come with a nice little flash of chrome inside there even. Very nice. As I stated, these are not the original factory wheels, but they're very similar, and they are Plastadipped black. They did not initially come in black. I believe they came in chrome. Over here you get a turn signal indicator in your mirror, always nice to have. You do get a sunroof up here, so this is tilt and slide, so that's very good. You get your antenna, of course. And then for the rear fascia, it looks pretty familiar for most Dodge products. Here you get your limited badge and your Multi-Air turbo. Also down here, you get a dual chrome tip exhaust, and you can actually start to hear a little bit of a low burble idle right there. So that's very cool to me. They did make this a bit of a sportier trim, of course, with it having the manual and the upgraded engine. Here you do get your fuel cap. This is not an easy open like a lot of Fords were doing in this era, but that's okay. That's something that very few brands have done, and they've only started to pick up in modern cars today. There are no proximity sensors here. I kind of wish it did have those, at least for the driver and passenger door, but that is all right. And overall in this gray, it doesn't look too intimidating, but it looks nice and neutral. It doesn't look weak. I think it looks pretty mean and good up with the front design. And let's have a look inside. All right, so here on the driver's door panel, it is pretty well padded actually. This is the only hard strip right here. All this is padded, and here you get a nice grab handle, also rubberized, so that's pretty good. You get plastic chrome covered door handle. You do get one-touch windows for the front driver and passenger, so that's good. And then down here you get interesting little geometric piece for the 6-speaker system setup in here. You do get the leather interior, of course. Very nice bolsters actually on these seats. And you do get a 4-way lumbar support, which is great, as well as, of course, power slide and tilt options. Over to the left of your driver's steering wheel here, you do get light controls and AC vent, and that's going to be about it for there. All right, so for your steering wheel here, it is leather wrapped. Pretty nice leather wrap, actually, in my opinion. Feels good in hand. On the wheel itself, it's very simple controls. On the rear, you also get some rockers for your volume and channel. Like in most Fiat Chrysler products, I much appreciate that. It's very nice to have. You do get one blank button here, but overall it's pretty good. Decent fit and finish on here. A bit bland. I wish they did a pop of chrome more than this little surrounding trim piece for the buttons. I wish maybe they did chrome here, or maybe a carbon fiber type of insert, or even gloss black, but it does look okay. Some nice bolsters at 10 and 2. As for your gauge cluster, you get a part analog, part digital gauge cluster. So you get a physical tachometer, and for your speedo, it's going to be digital, and your fuel gauge is also going to be analog. And right here, of course, there's going to be a lot of multimedia options to show throughout here. Trip, and your eco, and tire pressure, of course, and all the typical things. And it's pretty decent resolution, actually. For 2013, I think it looks very nice. Over up on the dashboard, it's actually well padded for a decent portion of this. It's slightly padded throughout the rest, but here is actually very, very nice. It has some white contrast stitching, which is always great to have. And then below that, surrounding your infotainment system, it does have a gloss black piece, and in a spot where it doesn't pick up too much dust. So I think it works out pretty well. Over for your infotainment, you get a familiar Uconnect system. Uconnect is a pretty good system, in my opinion. I think it's very simple to use. And of course, you can access both a heated steering wheel function inside of here for your leather-wrapped wheel, and your heated driver and passenger seats. And for your radio, of course, it is in there. And then down below here, it's actually a pretty simple setup. So over here you get traction off, of course. You get your air conditioning controls. It is automatic, not dual zone though. It is single zone climate control. And then you do get a 12-volt charging port down here, and a little spot for your phone. And here you get your, of course, your gear shifter. This is not the stock shift knob, but it looks pretty good in my opinion. And it's actually pretty short throw lengths. It's very, very manageable. Seems pretty enjoyable to drive. Then over here, of course, you do get a glove box. It is well damped, so that's good. It's just hard plastic, though. I wish they added a little bit of padding. Up here, you do get, of course, your sunroof controls and a little sunglass storage place. Let's have a look here at the mirrors, see if it slides. Yes, it does. Covers the whole window. That is great. In here, of course, you get a manual handbrake. This is a manual car. Here for your storage, you get a pretty decent spot of storage. The handle is a bit far back to reach into, but overall it's okay. And you do retain 2 full cup holders. As for visibility up here, it's pretty decent. Bit of a thick A-pillar, slightly sloping down towards you in the roofline here. But overall, it's okay. I have a lot of room. I'm 6 feet tall, and I can drive this very comfortably. And as for the general fit and finish in here, it's actually not too bad. Dodge is often knocked for having pretty weak fit and finish, but I think they did a good job here. They used a lot of different material choices, and overall, there aren't like big panel gaps or anything like that. I think it's a good setup. And let's have a check in the back seat. All right, here in the back seat, it is a pretty similar setup on the door, but myself sitting here is where it was. I actually do have knee room, which is good. I'm 6 feet tall, and yeah, I can still sit back here pretty comfortably in that regard. However, I only have about an inch of headroom left. They did do a bit of a cutout in the roof, but it's a pretty low roof line back here if you're taller than, say, 6 feet, to sit back here comfortably for long periods of time. Over here, you do not actually get AC vents. I'm a bit surprised by that, just because it's an upper trim of the Dodge Dart. I was hoping it would include that, but it's okay. It's rubber lined. It's a little pouch, storage pouch to put some stuff. You do not get a 12-volt charger, though. That's something I'm actually more surprised by than the AC vents. Over here, you get a basic center pull-down, but you also do get a second little storage spot inside of there, and that closes like so. These seats are actually pretty comfortable. They're leather, they have pretty good lower back support, and I could sit back here for a considerable amount of time. And let's have a quick look at the trunk. Alright, so here in the trunk, it has about 13.1 cubic feet of storage, and it's a pretty deep, wide load floor as well. I think it's pretty good. It can do everything you need it to. Very, very wide opening, which is nice, versus some sports cars have a very, very aggressive cut-in right on the sides, but this is pretty wide as far as you can go. Very light, very light trunk as well to close. Alright, as for my final thoughts on this 2013 Dodge Dart Limited with the 1.4-liter turbo multi-air engine. I think it's a pretty nice package overall. I like the shift lever that someone put on here, make it more like a sporty car. And overall, it actually has pretty good fit and finish. For a Dodge, sometimes they're lacking in that regard, but this is a higher trim. I think they did a good choice of materials, of fit and finish. Certainly, there are not large panel gaps anywhere that I could see. And it's a pretty good setup with the technology for the era. It's 2013, but this, in a lot of ways, shares a very large infotainment system, easy to use. Very nice mix of an analog and digital gauge cluster. A sunroof, nice leather, heated seats, heated wheel. And yeah, I think it gives you a lot of the creature comforts you would still desire today. And I think it's pretty comfortable to sit in. Alrighty. Thank you very much to my friend who allowed me to review and film with this car. Alrighty, that'll just about wrap it up for this review. Thank you very much for watching. Make sure to check out my affiliate links down below, and remember to drive with purpose. Thank you for watching, and take care.